Jordan Spieth said, 7 words that could destroy professional golf forever. One sentence, 7 words, and everything the PGA Tour built for 60 years started to crack. Picture this. It's April 30th, 2026. The sun is blazing over Trump National Doral, Miami. Jordan Spieth, 3-time major champion, one of the most beloved figures in the history of professional golf, has just shot a brilliant 7 under 65, his best round of the entire season. The crowd is electric. The cameras love him. His iron play is absolutely surgical. But the reporters standing at that press conference podium, they are not there to talk about birdies. They are not there to celebrate his golf. They are there because professional golf is standing at the edge of a cliff, and they need someone, anyone, to tell them whether it's about to jump. And Jordan Spieth walked up to that microphone, looked straight ahead, and dropped a bomb. 7 words, just 7 words. Does it change? Does it? For guys who sued, that's it. That one question, asked calmly, quietly, almost conversationally, sent shockwaves through every locker room, every boardroom, and every legal office connected to professional golf on planet Earth. By the end of this video, I am going to take you inside those 7 words. I'm going to show you the 4-year war that made them possible. The billions of Saudi dollars, the betrayal, the lawsuits, the men who may never be forgiven, and the one player whose story we'll reveal at the very end, whose return could either save the PGA Tour or blow it apart all over again. Stay with me. Every single second of this video matters. But first, if you are new here, welcome to Malm. Hoi PGA Tour. This is not your average golf channel. We don't just show you highlights. We don't just read you leaderboards. We go inside professional golf, the deals, the drama, the decisions that happen behind closed doors, the ones that never make the official press releases. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Because what we're about to cover today, you are not going to find this level of depth anywhere else on YouTube. You subscribed? Good. Because now, we go to war. How the war started. To understand why those 7 words matter so much, you need to go back to 2021. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, woke up one morning and decided something very simple. We want to own professional golf, not partner with it, not sponsor it, own it. They had the weapon to do it. Guaranteed money, not prize money, guaranteed money. Contracts worth tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions, just for showing up and teeing it up. And then they went shopping. The first domino to fall? Phil Mickelson, 6-time major champion, American legend, one of the most recognized athletes on the planet. Phil didn't just take the money. Phil became the face of the rebellion. And once Phil went, the floodgates opened. Cameron Smith, the reigning Open champion, gone. Bryson DeChambeau, one of the most popular players in the game, gone. Patrick Reed, gone. Ian Poulter, gone. And then came the one that hurt the most, the one that made the PGA Tour's stomach drop. Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm reportedly signed a deal worth $300 million to join LIV Golf in December 2024. $300 million. Not for winning tournaments, not for performance bonuses, just to play, to exist, to show up. The PGA Tour was bleeding from every direction. Players were leaving, sponsors were nervous, television partners were asking hard questions, and the fans, the loyal, passionate fans who had built this sport over generations, they were confused, angry, and heartbroken. But here's where the story takes a turn that changes everything. Because some of these players, they didn't just leave. They didn't just take the money and wave goodbye. They declared war. The lawsuit that started a fire. August 2022. 11 LIV players filed an antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. Let me say that again so it really lands. 11 players sued the tour. Not just left, not just competed elsewhere. They hired expensive lawyers, spent millions of dollars, and tried to legally dismantle the institution that had made them rich, made them famous, and made them household names. Who were these players? Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, Ian Poulter, Taylor Gooch, and 7 others. Their argument? That the PGA Tour was illegally preventing them from doing business with a competitor. Antitrust violations. Now look, I'm not going to stand here and tell you they had no legal argument. Their lawyers were very smart people. But here's what the players who stayed on tour felt. They felt betrayed. They felt like a group of their colleagues, men they had competed alongside for years, men they had shared meals with, locker rooms with, Ryder Cup teams with, had decided that tearing down the entire structure of professional golf was worth it, for money they already had plenty of. And that wound has never healed. That lawsuit is the reason Jordan Spieth asked his 7 words. That lawsuit is the reason Brian Harman's voice gets tight when reporters bring up LIV. That lawsuit is the reason Lucas Glover, the new chairman of the Player Advisory Council, used the word absolutely when asked if returning players should face consequences. Everything, every single thing happening in professional golf right now traces back to those 11 men and that August 2022 lawsuit. Keep that in your mind. We're going to come back to it. But first, let me show you how the entire landscape just shifted overnight. Before we go further, I want to pause for a second because I genuinely want to know your opinion on this. The players who sued, Bryson, Phil, Poulter, the others, should they face harsher penalties than someone like Brooks Koepka, who left for the money but never filed a lawsuit? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Type yes, harsher, or Sutram. Same rules for everyone. I read every single comment on this channel, and I want to know where the HOY PGA Tour family stands on this. Also, if this video is hitting different for you, smash that more like button. It takes 2 seconds and it means everything to this channel. Alright, back to the story. Because something just happened that nobody predicted. The Saudi money dries up. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. The Saudi Public Investment Fund, the wallet behind everything, has announced it will stop funding LIV Golf after the 2026 season. That's it. The blank check is gone. The hundreds of billions of dollars that bought Jon Rahm, Cameron Smith, Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, that river of guaranteed money has run completely dry. And now, the men who laughed all the way to the bank in 2021, 2022, 2023, they're not laughing anymore. Reports are coming in from multiple sources. Representatives for LIV players have already been quietly making phone calls to the PGA Tour, testing the waters. Carefully, very carefully, asking one simple question. Can we come back? And here's where it gets really, really interesting. Because the PGA Tour already answered that question for one player, and the answer was yes. But the price was steep. The Brooks Koepka precedent. Brooks Koepka, 5-time major champion, arguably the most clutch golfer of his generation. Brooks came back to the PGA Tour in the January 2026. And the price tag? Let me walk you through it. Number 1, $5 million in charitable donations, cash, gone, before he sets foot back on tour. Number 2, no access to PGA Tour equity shares for down 5 years. Not a small thing. Those equity shares are currently estimated to be worth somewhere between the $50 and $85 million cries over time. He walks away from all of it. Number 3, no FedEx Cup bonus money for the entire 2026 season. 0. Number 4, no sponsor exemptions into signature events. He earns his way in just like a rookie. Now, Brooks accepted all of that. He put his hand up, said, I made my choice, I understand the consequences. And he came back. And here's the thing, the locker room, they respected it. Not everyone was thrilled. Not everyone welcomed him with open arms. But they respected the fact that he paid the price. Which brings us to the nuclear question. If that is what it costs for someone like Brooks, who simply left for the money, who never filed a lawsuit, who never tried to tear down the tour from the inside, what does it cost for the guys who sued, This is the question Jordan Spieth asked. And now, let's break down exactly what he said, word by word. Spieth's 7 words, unpacked. Spieth walked to that podium after shooting 65, one of the best rounds of his season. He could have talked about his iron play, his putting, his chances at the PGA Championship. Instead, he chose truth. The reporters asked him, what should happen to LIV players who want to return? And Spieth gave them a measured, careful, precise answer, every word chosen deliberately. He said, I'm not sure if it should be the same for everyone. I know olive branches were given out a couple months ago. Brooks took them up on it, so I'm not sure what would now change. That right there is already significant. He's saying the window was open. Brooks walked through it. Why should the door open again for people who didn't? But then he went further. If there's a system for Brooks and a system for Patrick Reed, does that stay the same for guys in the same category coming back? Or does it change now? He's building an argument, brick by brick, and then the 7 words that broke the internet. Does it change for guys who sued? Spieth wasn't yelling. He wasn't emotional. He wasn't pointing fingers. He was doing something far more powerful. He was putting the question on the official record, in a room full of journalists, with cameras rolling, where the tour's leadership would have no choice but to respond. Because here's what Jordan Spieth understood in that moment. As long as nobody says it out loud, the tour can pretend the question doesn't exist. They can negotiate in the shadows. They can quietly let people back in without consequences. But the moment someone says it into a microphone, the moment it's on camera, the tour has to answer. Jordan Spieth just made sure they have to answer. I want to stop right here, because I need you to really think about what we just talked about. Spieth spent years watching this war happen. Years of uncertainty about the future of his sport. Years of losing sponsors, losing playing partners, losing the structure that he built his career inside. And instead of losing his temper, instead of going nuclear, he asked one question, publicly, calmly. That is leadership. And this is why Hoi PGA Tour covers this sport differently. We don't just show you the scorecard, we show you the chess game underneath. If someone you know is a golf fan and they don't know about this channel yet, share this video with them right now, because they need to see this. All right, we've heard from Spieth, now let's hear from the rest of the locker room, because what some of these other players said, it's going to surprise you. Brian Harman, 2023 Open champion, one of the straightest shooters in professional golf. He was asked the same question Spieth was asked, and he didn't dance around it. He said, I think there should be something. I'm not smart enough to tell you what that is. That's other people's jobs. Simple, honest, mature. But then Harman went deeper. He said, I think that would help with the bad blood and the resentment. There's still some sentiment out here, especially with all the lawsuit stuff. That stuff is going to be tough to get past. Tough to get past. That's Brian Harman telling you, quietly but clearly, that this isn't just about rules and policies and penalties. This is personal. This is about men who sat across from each other in the same locker rooms, shared the same experiences, wore the same Ryder Cup uniforms, and then some of them chose to file legal papers trying to destroy everything they'd built together. That doesn't go away with a press conference and a check. And then Harman said something almost poetic. We play with all those guys in the majors, so yeah, I think there should be a path back. A path back is not the same as a welcome. Read that again. A path back is not a welcome. The door is not slammed, but it is barely cracked. Now, let's talk about Cameron Young. Right now, Cameron Young might be the hottest player on the PGA Tour. 2 wins in his last 3 starts. He's playing the best golf of his life. When asked about returning LIV players, he said, I think having Brooks back has been great, but honestly, it's not for me to decide. That sounds diplomatic. That sounds neutral. But listen to what he didn't say. He said Brooks has been great. He said Brooks. He didn't say, I think everyone should be welcome back. He didn't say, the more the merrier. He said Brooks specifically, and then stopped talking. In golf, What you don't say is often louder than what you do. And then there's Lucas Glover. Lucas. This one matters most of all. Lucas Glover is the newly elected chairman of the Art Player Advisory Council. Starting January, he will sit on the PGA Tour Policy Board. He will be in the room where these decisions get made. When asked about returning players, he said, "Human beings are human beings. I will never begrudge anybody for making a decision for the betterment of their career, their life, whatever that may be." Okay, reasonable, empathetic, good start. But then, and I want you to really hear this, he said, "But do I think they should abide by the pathways back and pay the same penalties that the previous people have paid? Absolutely. Not maybe, not let's see, not we'll discuss it. Absolutely." That is the man who will be sitting in the boardroom, and his position is crystal clear. And when asked specifically about the players who sued, Glover was careful. He said the tour would be working diligently to figure all that out. Translation: the lawyers are already in the room. The negotiations have already started, and the consequences for the players who sued are going to be different and harder than anything we've seen so far. Where the big names stand right now. Let's go through the major players in this story. Where do they actually stand today? Jon Rahm, $300 million deal, the biggest signing in LIV history. Before the February 2026 deadline, the PGA Tour sent Rahm a formal offer to return as a member. He turned it down. He also refused to pay his fines to the DP World Tour or accept any settlement. The result? Right now, Jon Rahm is not a member in good standing of the DP World Tour, which means, and I want you to sit with this, Jon Rahm, one of the greatest players in the world, is currently not eligible for the European Ryder Cup team. He signed a $300 million contract, and he might miss the Ryder Cup. Let that sink in. Bryson DeChambeau. Reports suggested Bryson was seeking as much as $500 million team to re-sign with LIV. $500 million. Now, with the Saudi money evaporating, Bryson himself has publicly admitted he's not quite sure how welcomed back he will be. He's also raised a specific issue that most people haven't talked about: the PGA Tour's content creation rules. Bryson has millions of YouTube subscribers. His channel is worth real money, and the tour's rules about filming practice rounds and behind-the-scenes content would directly affect his income from that channel. That might sound minor. It is not minor. For Bryson, that YouTube revenue is a significant part of his brand. And the tour's content rules, written before YouTube was what it is today, are a genuine obstacle to his return, the 2022 Open champion. He turned down the PGA Tour's offer before the February deadline. His LIV contract runs through 2027. But here's the detail most people miss. Cameron Smith is not just a player in LIV Golf. He is a chahte, stakeholder in his LIV franchise. He owns a piece of it. That makes his exit extraordinarily complicated, legally, financially, and contractually, in ways that no one has even begun to publicly calculate. Cameron Smith isn't just deciding whether to come back, he's deciding whether to sell a business. And that business? Its value just went off a cliff when the Saudi money disappeared. The original, the first domino. Phil missed the cutoff for the returning member program by less than 1 year, and according to sources close to the PGA Tour leadership, the door will not necessarily open again. Phil Mickelson, 6 major championships, decades of history, one of the most iconic figures in American sports, potentially locked out of the PGA Tour forever. The story of these men is not just about golf anymore. It's about choices and consequences, and what happens when the money that made everything possible runs out. While all of this drama is exploding around him, Jordan Spieth is chasing something that only 6 human beings in the history of golf have ever accomplished. He has the Masters. He has the US Open. He has the Open Championship. He needs one more. The PGA Championship. The Career Grand Slam. Only 6 men have ever done it. Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy. Spieth wants to be number 7, and when asked about the pressure of that pursuit, he gave an answer that I think tells you everything about who Jordan Spieth is as a person. He said, "The easiest way to do it is to try not to, in a weird way. Just go out there, get a good game plan, and attack it." 4 top 12 finishes this season. A T12 at the Masters. The form is building. The timing is aligning. And think about what it would mean. The man who stayed. The man who fought. The man who asked the question nobody else would ask. Standing on golf's biggest stage, holding the Wanamaker Trophy, completing the career Grand Slam. While the men who sued watch from the outside. That would be a story for the ages. That would be the story that defines an era. So, here is where we are. The Saudi money is gone. LIV Golf is on life support. The men who took the billions and then sued the institution that made them famous, they are knocking on the door, hats in hand, asking to come back. Jordan Spieth asked the question that nobody in charge wanted to face. Lucas Glover said, absolutely, when asked if they should face consequences. Brian Harman said the bad blood, especially around the lawsuits, is going to be tough to get past. And the PGA Tour's lawyers are in that room right now, deciding what consequences actually means for the men who tried to destroy them in a courtroom. The decisions that come out of that room will shape professional golf for the next 20 years. But here's the thing that nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about yet. There is one player in this entire saga whose situation is so complicated, so tangled up in money, loyalty, lawsuits, personal relationships, and tour politics that his potential return could either save the PGA Tour or break it apart all over again. His story involves numbers that will make your jaw drop. His story involves people in positions of power who will have to make an impossible choice. And his story is going to change the way you understand everything we talked about today. We are covering his full story in our next video. If you are not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell, because that video is coming very soon. And if you miss it, you are going to be completely lost when the rest of the golf world starts talking about it. Until then, this is Hoi PGA Tour. We don't just cover the game, we cover the truth. See you in the next one.